We've all seen the trope of the eccentric genius, the architect who designs a skyscraper so mathematically complex it appears impossible on paper. They can calculate every load-bearing ratio and sketch every aerodynamic curve of the glass facade with perfect precision. But the same visionary often refuses to ever put on a hard hat. They won't step onto a muddy construction site to figure out how to actually pour the concrete or secure the foundation in the real world. Society generally gives this archetype a pass. We have an unspoken assumption that if someone's head is that far in the clouds, their feet can't possibly be on the ground. We accept the idea that immense theoretical depth demands a sacrifice of practical competence, a trade-off we see in academia, in the arts, and especially in mindfulness. This creates a strange paradox. The enlightened practitioner who spends hours in silent meditation but suffers a psychological meltdown the moment they have to assemble IKEA furniture. It's the person who returns from a silent retreat, but suddenly finds themselves unable to handle a normal conversation about a bad date or a football draft. They might even ignore basic responsibilities, like their taxes, because the friction of the material world feels too abrasive. A practice designed to connect someone to the universal fabric of humanity often ends in total social isolation. If the goal of consciousness work is to wake up, why does it so often result in someone becoming completely incapable of functioning in the messy reality of daily life? There's a valid reason for this retreat. Daily life is a chaotic storm of emails, traffic, and stress. We go down to find the calm. Through rigorous practice, the brain can access what some call the quantum field, a state where the rigid boundaries of the ego start to blur. It's a space where the chattering mind goes quiet, revealing a sense of fundamental interconnectedness. Reaching this depth requires highly specialized internal skills. You have to train your executive function to observe your own anxieties without being swept away by them, learning to sit in the stillness of your own potential. This deep descent is a necessary step. The depth provides the quiet required to actually restructure one's consciousness. The danger is mistaking silence for the goal, never returning. Unpredictable interaction becomes a threat, causing withdrawal. They adopt a shield of spiritual superiority, elevating themselves above reality. Eventually, a severe task-switching penalty causes executive functions to atrophy, locking the brain. While these practitioners might understand the theory of unity, they perform zero service for their community. It is a highly sophisticated form of hiding, dressed in spiritual clothing. The stillness isn't a permanent residence, it's the blueprint room. You go there to see how the building should stand, but you can't live in the drawings. Real-world integration starts with bringing that stillness into the noise. It's using that inner anchor during a tense meeting or in the middle of gridlock traffic, allowing the peace to stay steady even when the environment gets loud. It continues through unglamorous physical effort. It's taking the abstract concept of patience and giving it form while folding laundry or dealing with a screaming toddler. This leads to an engaged presence in the world. Instead of withdrawing when the news gets depressing, an integrated practitioner participates in the messy, heartbreaking reality of existence without losing their center. They prove the blueprint works by actually building the structure. When we look at the results of these actions, we see that mastery isn't defined by the depth of the meditation. It's defined by the completion of the round trip. The master forces their nervous system to hold the silence of the void and the chaos of the surface simultaneously. This forces a single question. Are you using your inner work to engage with life more fully or to avoid it more comfortably? If the most conscious among us refuse to leave the blueprint room because the surface is too messy, who is left to build the reality we all have to live in? The world doesn't need more beautiful drawings locked away in a safe. It needs buildings. Achieving inner peace is only the first half of the work. Taking that peace and walking back onto the muddy construction site of society is the part that actually matters to everyone else.